Hi everyone, this is Noor, the host of the IB Odyssey podcast, and I hope you're having a great day so far. So, this is the first ever podcast episode, and I am so excited and kind of nervous because this is my first experience as well hosting a podcast. So, I hope you all have a great time listening. So, today's topic is IB resources, which I think a lot of people might be appreciative of because I've been doing IB since PYP2. So, I've been doing IB for a very long time. And one thing, especially through my MYP years, that I've noticed is that there aren't a lot of IB resources. And I think this episode for my fellow IB students will be something that can really get you resources to help through school and make life a bit easier, especially if you're in MYP5 or DP1, DP2. I'm currently a DP1 student, and these are some of the resources I found kind of this year. Recently, a lot of my friends have showed me some, and I'm really excited to share these. So I have a couple different type of resources. I have websites, I have kind of like communities, I'll get into that of course later, YouTubers, and also Instagram accounts. So thank you so much for listening to this, and I'm just gonna dive right into these resources, because resources in IB is something that I'm sure everyone knows is very hard to find. I've had a big hard time finding them, and now that I have a handful of things, I don't want to gatekeep any of them and definitely share with people, because if these were shared with me a bit sooner, I feel like it would have been more easier for me to kind of get through my MYP years, etc. So, yep, let's just start. Let's start off with websites first. So the first website I'm going to be discussing is Revision Village. Now, I think a lot of people are aware of Revision Village. A lot of my friends use it, a lot of my seniors use it. Even the teachers recommend us to use Revision Village. And I swear I love Revision Village. It's just something that's so awesome. And it's literally designed for IB students, so that really helps. So in case you don't know what Revision Village is, it's basically this website that lets you quiz yourself on topics per subject. So I'm an humanities student basically, and if I'm like, for example, one of my HLs is business management. So if I want to test myself from, let's say, 1.5, I can just go to business management, click on 1.5 and the question banks for it, and it'll give me questions for both HL and SL. You can have an option. You can also have an option per paper for any subject. Like if you want to, for example, do biology and you want to study paper 1 in particular, and you want to study on mitosis or something, then you can literally just go on that chapter, go on that paper and study. And it is so useful because it really gives you that practice. And for math especially, that it's such a great resource, because for math you need to do a lot of practice, and also for the sciences in general, to kind of keep up with the course, because they're usually very tedious. So this is such a great resource for students to use, and it has a lot of subjects as well. It has ESS, business management, economics, psychology. It has maths, both AA and AI, in both HL and SL. It has biology, chemistry, and physics. This might be limited to some students, because a lot of students who do, like, for example, art or something. Well, art isn't something that's more exam based, so you can't do questions like visual arts, but it is still such a great resource for these 8 subjects that they do offer. A drawback to Revision Village and other similar websites that I'm also going to talk about is that you do have to purchase a gold membership, which is just like the premium version. So if you just have the free version of it, you'll just get free access to the first chapter of every subject, but not later onwards. So you will have to buy it, and it can be costly. It can be $50, $60. But if you do have it, you should definitely utilize it, or maybe save up and purchase it, because it's a really good resource. Definitely talk to your seniors, people who have graduated from DP2 and now are going on to college or the gap year or whatever. If they're not using it and if they're willing enough to kind of lend you their account, you should utilize it and practice it as much as you can, because this is such a great resource and it will definitely keep the practice side of your studies in check. And that's why I think it's such a good resource to have, because I use it for business, I use it for maths a lot. I'm also going to be starting to use this for economics. So this is something that at least for 3 out of my 6 subjects is so handy. So I would definitely suggest people to go and use this. The next website is also very similar and it's called Revision Dojo. It's pretty much the same thing as Revision Village, but it has more variety. And the subjects they offer is basically what I'm talking about. So they have business management, they have digital society, economics, ESS, geography, history, psychology, they have bio, chem, computer science, design technology, physics, they have physical health, I believe this particular subject is, and they also have math AA and math AI. So another great thing about this tool is that you can use it for practice and questioning. I believe you do have to pay for this as well, but another thing that I love about this is that it gives you flashcards, which is obviously great for like memorizing concepts, and also you can kind of design a mock exam for yourself. So you click on a subject, you click on the topics you want to be tested on, and it'll give you like a mock exam, which is of course so useful. And another service they're providing is tutoring. So you can sign up and you can tutor one-on-one. So, you can get that level 7, which we all are trying to get. So this is such a great resource for students as well, because practice, makes you perfect, as everyone literally says. And I do think that this is also very resourceful. What I do is I'll do Revision Village, then Revision Dojo, topic by topic for questions. This way I have like a variety of different topics to kind of question myself and answer them. And if you have any trouble or something, you can obviously ask your teachers. But one thing about Revision Village and Revision Dojo is that they both have marking schemes. So you have a question and then you also have the answer to that. Let's say you're an ESS student and there's a 7-mark question and you maybe are a bit stuck on it. So you can turn on the marking scheme and you can look at what the question is requiring. It'll also kind of give you an outline of what should come first and second and third. So it also really helps you design your answers, because if your answer is well structured, well thought out, then it'll definitely help you score better. Okay, so the next 2 websites are very similar. The first one is Zotes, and for IB, they have both middle years and diploma program, which is honestly so insane, because throughout MYP, I could not find IB resources, and this sucks so much because I literally found out about Zotes having middle years program subjects when I joined DP, which is kind of tragic, but I'll save that for another time. Anyways, they have middle years program subject which are maths, chemistry, biology, physics, and English. It's a good foundation because sciences are actually, as I'm sure you guys know, is compulsory. At least having 1 to 2 is compulsory for middle years program, and so would that include maths and English. So this pretty much covers everything instead of humanities subjects such as INS or history, geography, integrated, things like that. But it's still a really good resource, and it breaks down everything per chapter. Like for example, for English, it'll have subsections for tweets, for letters, for scripts. So that's very useful. And for diploma program, they have economics SL, they have chemistry SL, global politics HL, and Spanish ab initio in SL. So they don't offer a lot of subjects for DP, but in case any of these four are the ones that you're taking, you should definitely check it out, because C notes really helps to break it down in such a way that even the explanations are very simple and they're really easy to understand. So I would definitely suggest everyone to use this. And coming on to the second one, this is one of my most favorite resources ever, and it's called Save My Exams. So okay, I'm just gonna start off with like kind of a downfall of this. It is paid. You get a free version, then you get a premium version. The premium version tends to have like more advantages, of course, like you can save videos, you can download files, and it'll actually give you access to videos. On the free version, that isn't the case, which kind of sucks, but believe me, regardless, it's a really good resource, and I would definitely suggest everyone to kind of invest in it, because these resources will definitely help you achieve better grades. You can take the outline of these to your teachers and ask them, do you think this is good for me to revise from? And if your teacher suggests that, yeah, this is good, then you should definitely invest your money and your time practicing and memorizing info through these resources. Similar to Revision Dojo and Revision Village, Save My Exam also has it has revision notes that those two websites don't, but it has topical questions and it also has past paper questions. That's why I think Save My Exam is actually a really good resource to invest in, especially if you want to get a lot of the things out of this resource. Like, it's giving you the notes, it's giving you topic questions, and it's giving you practice paper questions. And believe me, Save My Exam by far has like the most diverse range of subjects. It has Bio HL, Bio SL, Chem HL, Chem SL, Math AA, both in HLSL, same with Math AI, and same with Physics. So it also has business management, it has economics, it has psychology, it has ESS, it has geography, and these are, of course, like, I use them personally, so I can definitely vouch for the fact that it definitely helps to break the concepts down. And like, for example, if you were preparing 2.1, at the end of 2.1 you can kind of quiz yourself. So that is something that is very, very useful, and I do think it is really like a great resource for IB students, especially because it has great it gives you so much, and it has great diversity of subjects, so it's definitely worth the investment. Next is a resource that I haven't used as much, but a friend of mine was telling me about it, and I've heard that it's really good and it's very popular, and I'm sure some of you might have heard of it. So it's called In Thinking, or you can search thinkib.net and it'll come up. And it has a lot of DP subjects, and it's basically a website and a resource designed for IB teachers. So it has biology, business management, chemistry, economics, English A, English B, ESS, history, German language and literature, geography, French B, Maths AA, Maths AI, Physics, Psychology, Spanish ab initio, Spanish B, Spanish A, and Visual Arts. Now, this is something that has a lot of subjects, which I think is absolutely great. Once you click on the subject that you want to study, it'll give you different topics and it'll give you answers. For example, if you want to study chemistry, then you can study membrane structure and it'll give you the model answers, or it'll give you the answers of the nuclear membrane with like kind of diagrams, and it'll have it all filled out and well explained, which is very useful. So I think this is a great resource and a lot of people should check it out. Coming on to a resource that is only for math. So the website is called Christos Nikolaides. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's spelled CHRISTOS NIKOLAIDIS. So this is a really good resource. I know I've said that about like every resource so far, but trust me, if you're someone who struggles in math or cannot understand a particular concept, then it has both Math AI and both Math AA, and it also gives you the syllabus for SL and HL. So the best thing about this resource is that they basically provide lecture notes. So like for example, if I want to learn about basic algebra, right, which is topic 1 number and algebra in Math AI, then I can just click on the website, click on where it says basic algebra, and it'll open up a link which is basically notes for it, and it shows different questions and it'll explain how to answer them. So in that regard, it's very easy to understand and it's very helpful because you'll not only get like lecture notes, but it also breaks everything down in such a way that you can step by step understand the calculations per question, because there's different questions. So usually there'll be like one question and then you'll solve it and you'll be like, oh, okay, I know how to do this. And there'll be a different question and it's totally different and you're like, what is going on? But they give you different questions and they actually solve it. So I think that's really helpful, and it's definitely really good for someone who is not good at maths at all. Talk about myself. Next up, we have ibelieve.org, which is the name of the website. And okay, this website and this resource is interesting because it's kind of like a hub of resources. They have a tab which shows you the subject and it shows you the resources for those subjects. So for example, for biology, they have Bio Ninja, which is very popular. They have In Thinking IB Biology, the website we were just talking about a while ago. Now they have a lot of subjects, which I think is absolutely great. They have bio, they have BM, psychology, physics, music, Spanish, chemistry, Chinese, computer science, global politics, theater arts. They have cores as well, such as theory of knowledge, visual arts, and they have math. They also have kind of like a tab for general. So basically, pretty much all the subjects, or like Math AA, Math AI. I think this is really great because you have this resource and it's working out for, let's say, a lot of people. That doesn't really mean it'll work out for you. So they have like different resources per subject. For some of the subjects, such as Chinese, global politics, and computer science, they only have one resource. But hey, one's better than none, right? For example, subjects like global politics, it's really hard to find resources. So even if you find one, it's really great. It gives you a lot of things to go over. So that is, I think, amazing because it gives you a lot of different things that you can go over. Like, let's say you wanted to study Spanish. One might, be a resource for the listening. One might be for like paper 1 or paper 2 or something along the lines. I don't take Spanish, but I'm hoping that for people who do, this will be really helpful. So moving onwards, we have a resource that's just for environmental systems and societies for ESS students. The website is called esstutor.net. Basically, you contact these people and then they'll help you with like one-on-one tutoring. A lot of people, such as myself, I prefer like one-on-one time with the teacher because some people adapt well to like big environments and some to rather smaller ones. So if you're someone who likes tutoring one-on-one with your professor or whatever, then this is a great resource because I've heard ESS is kind of hard to score in. So if someone needs help, they can of course contact them. But they also sell books. So they have a book called 101 ESS IA Research Question Ideas. And they also have another book they sell, which is 101 ESS Questions IB Style. So I'm assuming that basically they have a question bank and you can do that, and they also give you like the marking scheme. So both of these are £70 on their website, and I do think that this is very useful, especially for people who like tutoring. They have different tutoring plans as well for 5 lessons, 3 lessons, and the time is given. So for like one lesson, you'll have like about an hour, which is actually a great deal and a great time. So I think that's really awesome. Also, okay, I want to talk about, this is the last website. So, this is kind of the end of the first section. This video will have kind of like 4 sections where I'm talking about different places you can get resources from. So the last website is called LitChart, and I think this is so useful. This and SparkNotes as well. So these 2 websites are very useful for English, A especially. Basically, what LitCharts and SparkNotes does is that, for example, you're reading the book White Tiger, which is the book that I'm reading currently in DP1 with my class. And what I found from LitCharts is that it'll basically cut down different, be it a play, be it a novel, whatever. It'll cut down basically the story into the summary, into the analysis. It'll give you a section for characters. It'll tell you about different characters. It'll tell you about the themes in the story. And I think these websites in particular, especially LitChart, you also kind of need a premium for this, but I think not having the premium is like as good, because basically it gives you pretty much all of the information you need for English A paper 2. Paper 2 is you basically have a plot, you have a guiding question, not a plot, guiding question, and you have to use 2 of the works you've studied and compare and contrast them. It's pretty much an analysis, and this really helps to break down the analysis. It'll give you themes, it'll give you analysis of the characters, and all of these things definitely will help score better in paper 2. So English is a compulsory part of the IB/DP course, so definitely check this out. I do think it'll definitely benefit a lot of people. It definitely benefited me and helped me consume information very strategically for my English paper 2. So do check this out because it's really cool. That concludes the first part, meaning we're now going to start on with the second part of this podcast and the IB resources. And the part that I'm going to be focusing on now is communities. And I know it kind of sounds really confusing, but this is kind of the best I could phrase it as. And basically, when I talk about communities, I'm talking about Reddit servers, Reddit threads, and Discord servers. So if you're someone who uses Discord or Reddit, you already know that you can kind of join these spaces or these groups which basically tackle a particular topic. So let's say you're joining the IB thread on Reddit. You can post a message which could be like, can someone maybe help me with my IA for like this subject. And this is like these 2 resources, Discord and Reddit, are more conversation based, and you can like make connections with people who are in the same grade as you, or someone who's a senior and they've gone through what you're going through rather recently, and they can give you good advice. So I do think joining Discord or Reddit, of course with the permission of your parents, it's definitely a great idea, because recently I was talking to people on Reddit about like a maths exam, and they were just telling me about their experience. I was telling them about my experience, and I do think that this is a great resource, which kind of might not be the most obvious one, because we usually think about videos or like websites for IB people, for IB students, as like your most typical resource. But you can also go on like Discord, a server such as, there's a server in Discord, it's called IB, and you can just join that, and they have like these tags for your subject selection, and you can talk to people about their subjects, your subjects. They can help you with the course, such as your EE, your CAS work, or whatever. And on Reddit, you can also ask them questions, likewise on Discord, and just get answers and build connections with people, and you can just keep helping each other out. Like, for example, there's this person on Reddit and they're taking, let's say, physics, and you take physics, then they can probably share notes with you. And that is something that's going to be, so useful, because not only are you kind of connecting on the basis of your subject, but you're also making a friend, but you're also being kind of productive because they're helping you out. So it's kind of like a win-win situation, and it would definitely help a lot of people, like it helped me. So I'm speaking from personal experience. A lot of the people are really active on these servers and groups, so getting a response back from them is not really that hard. And that's why I think there's such a great option for a resource, because it's kind of a little overlooked. Like, you wouldn't think of Discord as a resource, but if you're on Discord and your parents are like, why are you on Discord, and then you can be like, look at the server I'm talking in, I'm being productive. So I hope that helps in some capacity. Anyways, next to the next section, which is Instagram accounts. Now, this is also a great way of quote-unquote wasting your time on Instagram, but looking productive while doing so. Okay, I'm joking. Like, please don't waste your time. Do well on your exams. Now I just sound like my mom. Anyways, but basically, there are like these 4 Instagram accounts that I found that are really resourceful. Haha, see what I did there? Anyways, okay, so first up, we have Smart IB Resources. This is the Instagram account handle. They'll give you different links or Reddit or servers you can join, and basically they'll also have screenshots of people kind of giving their testimonials, or like, okay, so I just had an exam yesterday and I think I did good, maybe or maybe not, but you know what, here's the link to my notes I made. These are the notes I made. If they're useful, then you should look at them, and if you have any questions, you can ask them. So a lot of these people online are actually really helpful, and even in the comments, they'll respond to you. So that's kind of really good. The second account is just for business management students, and it's called IBDP business _ Sophie _ tutor. So basically, there's this teacher. She basically is a business management faculty, and she's a teacher, and she gives a lot of tips on her Instagram page on how to score better. She breaks down the structure of the paper. So for the people who don't know out there, maybe you're an MYP 5 or MYP 4, or maybe you just don't take business, but basically the syllabus changed for the 2025 and 2024 batch. So we have a not totally, but kind of a newer syllabus, and we have paper 3 added. We never had a paper 3 before. The batch was graduating in 2024, so this is very recent. And they also kind of give you a case study a couple months before the final exam, which you have to kind of work on. It'll come in the exam and everything. So basically, she breaks down these things, which I think is really resourceful and really, nice, because for some subjects who had their syllabus get changed like just right now, it's very hard for a lot of teachers to navigate how to kind of, teach with these new changes. And it's kind of like, like a try and test thing. But you have this person, she's a professional, she has years of teaching in this subject. She has the syllabus, or like the main components of the course, kind of at the back of her hand. Like, she just knows it very well. So her breaking it down for you as someone who is a teacher and someone who does know what to look for in a level 7, she can really help you through her posts, understand the structure, understand what terminology you need to use. This is something that goes for every subject. You need to use subject-specific terminology in order to score better. They're particular like keywords, or if there's a command term or something, like in business, they usually 10 mark questions, which could be like discuss the reason for merger that this company did or whatever. So basically she'll also break down the command terms, and that can be really helpful too. So definitely do check her out if you are an MYP 4 or 5 and you intend on taking business management, or you're already someone who's doing business management. She can definitely help you out a lot. And she also would re-upload things that she finds useful on her stories or her highlights. So do check that out. Keep a good lookout for these Instagram accounts, because they'll show stories and they'll disappear after 24 hours. So do keep tabs on them, just for the sake of doing well and just knowing what to keep up with. The next Instagram account, and this is by far my favorite one because it has such great resources. It'll give you tips on IAs for different subjects. It'll give you tips on TOK, CAS, EE, different subjects are covered under this. It's not very restricting, and it's very easy to understand what they're saying as well. So I do think this is something worth checking out, and it's called IB Like Cole, and I just love this account so much. The account will give you tips on how to procrastinate but still kind of get good grades in the end, or how to let's say your prep isn't that good for a particular subject like maths, then how can you kind of hopefully turn your grade better overnight, which kind of isn't that realistic, but they give you a lot of tips and tricks on how to improve your grade. So do check them out. They'll tell you the mistakes you're potentially making, how you could solve them. They'll give you other tips such as how to improve your HL essay in English, what structure should you be following, and if you don't know where to start with a subject which you find difficult, then they'll kind of break it down for you in such a way that you could start with this today, you could do a bit of that tomorrow. So I do think that's really cool. This is a really good resource, so do check it out, because they'll talk about different subjects, and they'll also give you general information about how you should draft your IA. And I know IAs are more subject specific, but they'll still give you a lot of help about that. The last Instagram account that I'll be discussing today is called IB Resource Hub, and it's literally in the name. They just give you IB resources. If you go look at their Instagram page, they'll basically have a post which would have the title of a website or something, and then they'll have the subject group which that website caters to with resources. So I do think that's really helpful. Again, similar to I Believe, the website, it kind of gives you a variety of what you can look under. So that's always really helpful. In case one website doesn't have something you're looking for, another might. So the more the merrier. So I do think that's very useful. So the IB Resource Hub kind of finishes out our Instagram account section of this podcast, which means we are finally on to the last bit of this podcast, and second last actually. I have another one. I am blind. Okay. It kind of morphed in. I apologize. But our second last section would include YouTubers. So someone such as me, I particularly enjoy watching videos while learning for subjects that are particularly content heavy. If you're studying something like global politics, then watching something that watching a case study on Brexit or the Yellow Vest case study that happened in France about a decade ago, these things through videos kind of really help to absorb information. But for those type of things, obviously looking at TED Talks is great. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, these types of YouTube channels are very helpful. But the types that I'm kind of wanting to discuss today would include people who have either done IB themselves and they're giving advice on how to kind of improve your grade or whatever, or people who are IB teachers and they know how to score better in a particular subject. So first of all is an account which is called Ivy Lilia. So it's Ivy like Ivy Leagues, and then LIA. So basically she gives out great tips for subjects such as physics, English, history, and extended essay. She is someone who did IB herself, and she's just giving out tips on how to score better and how to study better for these subjects. So if you take any of these like 4 subjects, and if you want to get a better understanding on how to write the 4,000 word very intimidating essay, which the IB calls extended essay, then do check this account out because she's very helpful for that. The next one is also very popular. I know a couple of my friends from a different school who use this, and my own English teacher for our midterm was telling us to kind of watch videos from them on how to write a good introduction, a good conclusion based on IB and what they're kind of looking for, right? So for example, for paper 2, you need to have a good hook, you need to have sentence structure, you need to have good thesis statement and topic sentences, things like these, because they help you score better. And they also look at really good vocabulary, grammar, and the IB English guys, they basically give tips on English language and literature, and they'll also decode sample exams. So there'll be an exam that someone's filled out, and they'll highlight things that were good or that could have been better. For example, there's a level 7 SL or HL paper 1 or paper 2, they'll highlight the hook, they'll highlight different things that really help stand out. Transition words such as moreover, firstly, secondly, secondly, thirdly, or even hence, therefore, moreover. Things like these really help you score. Like even earlier I was talking about, there's always going to be subject specific terminologies that you need to use, so they'll always go over those that really help to keep in mind. The next YouTuber has helped me through dark times, and the YouTuber is at Mr. Cunningham Maths 159. As said in the name, he's a YouTuber who goes over both MYP and DP math questions, which I think is so great. He'll go over past papers. For example, for my MYPE assessment, I was watching a lot of his videos. He'll go over past papers from like 2018, 2021, 2022, November and May sessions both. And he also does videos for DP, Math AA and SL. Math AA and AI, SL and HL. So do check him out. He really explains it very well. And I really think that if you're someone who struggles in math and you either don't have a tutor, you don't have someone who can give you that help personally one-on-one, you should definitely go through his YouTube channel. He has a lot of questions he's done, and they're very useful videos because the concepts are the same, questions are different, but because he's doing past papers, and which are IB's past papers, so it's very useful into also doing past paper questions. What I can advise is he'll obviously will show the question before he answers it. So what you can do is you can basically try to solve it yourself, and then you can see him solve it, and you can see where you were on track or maybe not so much. So that's also a great learning experience. Well, this wasn't originally in my list of resources, but if you want to do practice, you can also do Khan Academy. For maths, it has pretty much every single topic that there is. It's not IB specific, but math is that one subject that's universal, including the sciences. So you can go and you can do questions on Khan Academy, so that can be also very useful for people. Basically what you do is you select a topic, it'll give you the question, and if you don't understand how to do it, they'll have the explanation step by step on how to solve the answer. So it's a great resource to practice concepts and to understand where you're lacking and what you actually know. And I think it's very useful. It's also very popular, And I think for a good cause, because a lot of people use it and it's really just a great resource in general. Okay, next up is the last YouTuber that I'm going to be talking about. And she's not basically someone who's IB centric. Is that the right word? I don't know. But she's not someone who's basically targeting IB related topics. She talks a lot about education, and her name is, or her handle is, Faye Films. So if I'm pronouncing that right, it's basically FAYE and then Films. And she gives great study tips and great study routines. I've been watching her videos since like MYP 4, MYP 5, and it's like definitely MYP 4 though. Yeah, so I've been watching her for about 2 years, and she'll give you tips like how to like cram information but effectively, or this is how you should break down a subject you're not good in into like days or something. One tip I learned from her, which I still use till date because I think it's really useful, is that you should make a list of 5 things you want to do, like 5 tasks that they could be going over, chapter 1.2 or something, or working on this assignment or something like that. Just do 5 things, and I do suggest this to a lot of people, because if you only are doing 5 things and you're doing them pretty well, it's much better than like stressing yourself that, I have to do like 6 different chapters today, and you probably won't do it that well, because people have different capacities at which they can work in, which I think it's very important to understand, because if you understand your own acumen better, if your own capacity better, you'll be able to find more effective ways and effective methods to study. Of course, because if one study method is like working out for your friend or is recommended in the video, of course it's not necessarily will work out for you. This is something that you have to try and test. You might fail again and again to find methods that really work for you. But I think regardless, it's really good to start early for your exam preparation, like a month or 2 advance, depending on how much you struggle in particular subjects, because some people, in my opinion at least, do grasp on concepts easier than others do. So basically just do 5 things in a day. It can be to finish one assignment or whatever, because that way you won't be very stressed, and you'll also have room and area to breathe in. So it's really important to manage out your time well, and also in a way that you're not overburdening yourself, because if you do burn out, it would suck so much, and that would only lead to you being less effective in your studying or whatever. So do keep that in mind. Okay, last up, this is the last section, I promise. You can call this section pretty much miscellaneous or whatever, but this is basically the people who you go to, like people you go to for help. Now this firstly includes your teachers. Teachers are a great resource, and I'm personally blessed with the fact that in my school, a lot of the teaching faculty are actual certified IB examiners. Like, that is so impressive, of course, and amazing, because they can guide you on how to get really good grades. They can definitely guide you on tips and tricks to decode the paper in such a way that you make it easier for yourself. If there's this command term, we've already of course discussed this before, but if the paper's asking, if the paper is saying this is what they're asking. Your teachers, they're experienced, they know this, they've been teaching for a lot of years. Teachers are such a great resource to go to, because they're obviously teaching you the course, so they kind of can help you understand it much better. Whenever they're free, definitely go visit them. If you're answering questions, do ask them for past papers that you can solve, and they can check for your extra practice. I did that a lot for my INS, Individuals and Society, exam for the e-assessments. I would fill out and time myself doing the essay question, which comes at the very end, and I would send it to my teacher, and my teacher would give me comments on like what I did well, what I did not so well, and my grade, just so I have an idea of where I stand and what I need to improve. So teachers are a great resource to utilize. Do make sure you have a great rapport with them. do make sure you're really asking them for a lot of help. If you think because you missed a class, let's say, or if you don't understand something as well as you thought you did, maybe you could, stay back at school with them for a while, or you could, schedule an online meeting and you can discuss and go over maybe your exam, maybe an assignment or a concept. So teachers usually, most of the time, really appreciate students coming to them for the extra help, because it also shows how serious you are. So I would definitely suggest that you go over to them and you really utilize their skills as professionals in that particular subject. It'll definitely help score better. Okay, so this is the last point, which is to go and make really good friendships with your seniors. I'm someone who's so thankful for the seniors that I'm really good friends with, because they'll not only have been through what you're going through right now. Like, for example, if you're in DP1 like me, then, being friends with the DP2 students would be so useful, because when you're in MYP5, they've been through MYP5, they've been through the assessments. When you're in DP1, they've been through the first midterm of the subjects that you've never taken before, and they can help you a lot. Like, they'll give you resources such as solved exams, or if they find a good competition, they'll definitely, suggest it to you. Being friends with your seniors is such an overlooked thing, because they are, obviously your friends, but they're also resourceful. They've been through things and they can give you really good advice on how to kind of improve your grade. They can help you with your IAs a bit, with your core subjects, because, they're pretty much steps ahead of you. They've done these things. And the fact that a lot of these seniors are willing to, give their time to you really is something you should appreciate, because if they're especially in DP2, then, they're applying to colleges and it can be very hectic. But they can also help with, your college application process when, you're in DP2 and you're in their position. Well, the position that they were once in. So I think being friends with your seniors also really helps, because like I said, they can help you and they can give you, their answers to things or things they found. So, definitely keep an eye out for, people who take the same subjects as you or are doing really well in the core subjects, so that you can kind of get additional help or advice from them. And they can also just, give you generic, or well, not generic, but general advice, such as, don't skip classes, because in DP, it's really hard to score well in a particular subject, or, vice versa. Okay, so that kind of concludes or ends this episode, which is so crazy. Okay, I know it's so long, and I really apologize for that, but I am so happy that, I'm doing this. This is a great learning experience for myself, because I've never done a podcast before. So in case you don't like it, please do give feedback and go easy on me. I've never done this before, and at the start I had a headache. So yeah, but I really hope you guys like this episode. And if you have any topics you want to discuss, and if you yourself want to be interviewed or something, do contact me on Instagram, and I will try my best to respond to you. And it'll be really cool if some of you guys want to get interviewed, or you'd be willing to kind of give me advice on how I can improve this, or just topics that you want to see. If you want a particular teacher to, a particular subject related teacher to be interviewed, do let me know, and I can also try to arrange that. So thank you guys so much for listening to this, and I will be recording another one soon and upload that, so do keep an eye out for that. Anyways, bye bye. I hope you have a great day.